Everybody, this is Will coming in with a pretty big video. Today is my 4-year anniversary of when I was hit by a car crossing the street. Fell into critical condition. Suffered traumatic brain injury, medically induced coma for 2 weeks, compound leg fracture, 2 collapsed lungs, bruised aortic artery, whole 9 yards. It was bad. I was cooked. By the grace of God's love and mercy, I'm still here in the miracles He's done in my recovery. I'm still here and trying to put one foot in front of the other every day. And I've never gotten too vulnerable on here or the internet, but if you look up my name on Google, you'll see pictures of my wounded body, so I don't really have much to hide. So I figured I'd try to spread the gospel and give a slight testimony. This might be a long video. I apologize. Put it in 2 times speed if you need. So I considered myself a Christian growing up, going to church, doing my nighttime prayers, knowing that He cared for me. And as I grew older, I still believed, but looking back, I can see how much the world was creeping into my day-to-day life, how distant I was becoming from Him due to my lifestyle and how I was representing myself. After waking up and realizing you were given a second chance miracle at life, it can be overwhelming. So these past couple of years, these post-Nissan years, have been obviously highs and lows, but I've really understood how much I need to lock in on Him, on His love and His grace. So I was a little lost, searching around the Bible, trying to find some peace and comfort when I stumbled across Lamentations 3 in the Old Testament. Lamentations 3 is from the perspective of Jeremiah. It's all about hope in the midst of affliction. The excerpt that I took from this is verses 19 through 27. So bear with me for a little bit while I try to preach this NLT translation. Also, I don't know why my buckle's on. So starting with verse 19, the thought of my suffering and homelessness is bitter beyond words. I will never forget this awful time as I grieve over my loss. Yet I still dare to hope when I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is His faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. I say to myself, the Lord is my inheritance. Therefore I will hope in Him. The Lord is good to those who depend on Him, to those who search for Him. So it is good to wait quietly for salvation from the Lord. And it is good for people to submit at an early age to the yoke of His discipline. Good work. That passage just gives me a lot of hope and peace, knowing that each day when we wake up, His mercy greets us, and that we might have some sin in our life that we think is unforgivable. We can't overcome it, but He is the Lord of hope, love, faithfulness, and salvation. And to me, that's a fantastic four. But He's also promised future restoration and blessing. And Jeremiah knew that God would keep His promise also, because God is faithful day by day. We can be confident that He will come through His great promises for the future. Obviously, I'm super appreciative and grateful for everything that I've come back from. The highs are high, but the lows can sometimes get really low. Like, the survivor's guilt will take a toll on me, because I'll hear stories of people who are in the exact same situation as me, and they passed away. And then I'll be questioning God, like, why was I shown mercy? I did not deserve this at all. What is the reason that I'm still here? And then because I'm still here, due to God's grace, I will set standards that are way too high that I can't attain. And then I'll inevitably miss them, fall flat on my face, and then just go down the depressive rabbit hole, which be all shameful and everything, which just, there's no positive answer for that. I'm just so grateful for everyone who's shown me love and grace during these 4 years of growing pains. I've just realized over time there's so many people that I've taken for granted or hurt during my recovery, and I've affected so many relationships and friendships. Living with that guilt and shame is just nothing that I or anyone can really deal with. Now that I'm done airing out my grievances and burdens, one of the million things that I've been blessed with is a strong support system with wonderful people to lean on. And yet, even though I have that, I still pridefully try to, quote-unquote, thug it out and not tell people my problems, because I'll feel like a burden to them if I'm telling them I'm struggling. But one of these days, I was just like, what, enough is enough. I'm tired of putting it on the shelf. I need to talk it out with someone. So I was talking with my grandmother, about asking her questions like, why was I spared? What is my purpose here? And she said her Bible study dropped this bombshell of a verse, which works perfectly with me. Shout out Grandma Jane. I love you so much. She said it was in John 9:3, which goes, "It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins," Jesus answered. "This happened so the power of God could be seen in him." That just gives me a lot of closure and reassurance that the reason I'm still here is to preach his gospel, preach his word, that people can see him in me. Also reminds me of when LeBron came down 3-1 against Golden State, and in his post-game interview after Game 7, he goes, "I don't know why the man above want to give me the hardest road, but it's nothing that the man above gonna put you in situations you can't handle." I just kept that same positive attitude instead of saying, "Why me?" saying, "This is what he wanted me to do." So, Bron's the GOAT. This is a bit of an unorthodox video for me, but this anniversary always provides a lot of big reflection, and I just hope that my story and testimony can inspire and give hope to others moving forward. So look both ways when you're crossing the street. Mom and Dad, I love you. God bless.